Iranian missiles strike Al Udeid Air Base in Doha, Qatar. For decades, the Gulf was considered untouchable, protected by the world's most advanced defense systems. But now, reports claim Iranian strikes have targeted key U.S. positions across the region. If even America's strongest bases can be threatened, what does that mean for global security, oil markets, and the balance of power in the Middle East? This isn't just another regional clash. This could be a turning point. Middle East on the brink, Iran strikes, America's defense failure, and the shockwaves across the Gulf. The Middle East is once again standing at the edge of a dangerous escalation. Reports claim that Iran has launched coordinated attacks on American military installations across the Gulf region, including the strategically critical Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, one of the largest U.S. military bases in the region. If true, this marks a dramatic turning point. For decades, American military presence in the Gulf has been seen as a guarantee of security. Advanced defense systems, cutting-edge missile interceptors, early warning radars, all designed to create a protective shield over allied nations. But now, serious questions are being raised. What happens if that shield begins to crack? The strategic importance of Al Udeid. Al Udeid Air Base is not just another military installation. It is the forward headquarters of U.S. Central Command operations in the region. Billions of dollars have been invested in infrastructure, aircraft, missile defense systems, and intelligence facilities. It represents American power projection in the Middle East. If even this base appears vulnerable, the symbolic damage alone is enormous. Military analysts often emphasize that deterrence depends not only on strength, but on perception. The moment adversaries believe that your systems can be bypassed, intercepted, or overwhelmed, the balance begins to shift. The defense systems under question. The United States and its allies rely heavily on advanced systems such as Patriot missile batteries and THAAD, Terminal High Altitude Defense Systems. These platforms are designed to intercept ballistic missiles, drones, and aerial threats before they reach strategic targets. But modern warfare is changing. Low-cost drones, swarm tactics, electronic warfare interference, and precision-guided munitions are altering the battlefield. Even the most advanced systems can be stretched thin when faced with multiple simultaneous threats. The real concern is not whether some missiles were intercepted. The real concern is whether hostile drones and projectiles entered protected airspace at all. In modern defense strategy, prevention before entry is critical. Once a threat crosses into airspace, even if intercepted, psychological and strategic damage is already done. Economic shockwaves, the hidden battlefield. While the military dimension dominates headlines, the economic consequences may be even more significant. The Gulf states, Qatar, Bahrain, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia have spent decades building an image of stability. These countries positioned themselves as safe havens for global capital. Billionaires, multinational corporations, and international investors moved their regional headquarters there. Why? Political stability, high-level security, tax-friendly environments, strong infrastructure, strategic global connectivity. If security perceptions weaken, financial markets do not wait for clarity, they react to fear. If markets open under panic, property prices may fall, stock markets may experience sharp volatility, capital may shift to safer regions, gold prices may surge, defense company stocks may rise. The Gulf's real estate sector, heavily driven by foreign buyers, could face serious pressure if investors begin relocating assets. Even rumors can cause financial tremors. Israel's position and escalation risk. Regional dynamics are further complicated by Israel's strategic posture.
Israel has indicated that its operations are part of a broader campaign rather than a single event. If attacks become a series rather than an isolated exchange, the conflict risks transforming into a prolonged regional confrontation. A long war does not involve missiles. It involves supply chain disruptions, energy market instability.
Air travel suspensions, insurance costs surges, maritime shipping risks. The Strait of Hormuz, a key global oil transit route, becomes an immediate concern whenever tensions rise. Even speculation around its security can drive oil prices upward. America's strategic dilemma. For the United States, this situation presents multiple challenges. 1. Military reputation. American defense systems are exported worldwide. If these systems appear ineffective, it could damage global confidence. 2. Political credibility. Allied nations rely on U.S. security guarantees. If allies feel exposed, they may begin exploring alternative partnerships. 3. Geopolitical competition. Countries like China and Russia are actively expanding influence in the region. A perceived American weakness may accelerate diplomatic shifts. The Gulf states have historically balanced relationships between global powers. If doubts grow, diversification of alliances becomes more attractive. Intelligence and internal vulnerabilities. Another major theme emerging from the situation is the role of intelligence and internal security. Reports suggest that targeted strikes were possible due to intelligence leaks or tracking operations. In modern warfare, internal vulnerabilities can be as dangerous as external enemies. No defense system can compensate for compromised intelligence networks. History repeatedly shows that internal divisions often determine the outcome of conflicts more than battlefield strength. Civilian anxiety and daily disruption. Beyond geopolitics, ordinary people are feeling the tension. Flights are reportedly canceled. Airports face uncertainty. Residents in affected areas experience fear of overnight drone attacks. Emergency shelters are being prepared in some locations. In regions that marketed themselves as symbols of peace and luxury, even short-term instability shakes public confidence. Security is not just about stopping missiles, it is about maintaining psychological stability. When citizens begin asking, "What happens tomorrow?" that question alone changes national mood. Markets, gold, and defense stocks. Financial experts predict several possible short-term reactions. Gold prices increasing as investors seek safe haven assets. Energy prices rising due to supply risk fears. Defense sector stocks climbing due to demand expectations. Airline and tourism stocks declining. Insurance sector volatility. The first 24 to 48 hours after market openings often reveal how serious investors perceive the situation to be. Markets are emotional before they are rational. The future of Gulf stability. For 50 to 70 years, Gulf countries have invested heavily in transforming themselves into global centers of commerce and finance. Massive skyscrapers, artificial islands, financial districts, and tech hubs symbolize that transformation. But regional wars do not respect skylines. 2 days of instability cannot destroy decades of development, but repeated cycles of escalation can erode long-term confidence. Investors do not require certainty, they require predictability. If predictability disappears, capital becomes mobile. Power perception and global consequences. There is also a deeper psychological dimension. Global power is sustained not only by military capacity, but by belief in that capacity. If America strikes high-profile targets but struggles to shield its own installations, narratives begin to shift.
In international politics, perception shapes alliances. If regional players believe American guarantees are weakening, new diplomatic realignments could unfold over the coming years. What happens next? 3 scenarios are possible. Scenario 1. Controlled de-escalation. Back-channel diplomacy reduces tension. Limited retaliatory actions continue but avoid full-scale war. Scenario 2. Prolonged regional conflict. Sporadic attacks continue for weeks or months, destabilizing markets and energy flows. Scenario 3. Major escalation. Direct, large-scale confrontation triggers broader regional involvement. At this moment, uncertainty dominates. The next 48 hours may provide initial direction, but long-term stability depends on political decisions behind closed doors. Final reflection. This crisis highlights a crucial lesson. Military strength alone does not guarantee stability. Economic strength alone does not guarantee safety, and technological superiority alone does not ensure invulnerability. The Middle East has entered another unpredictable chapter. Whether it becomes a brief storm or a prolonged earthquake depends on decisions yet to be made. The world is watching, and the consequences will not remain limited to one region.